This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I don't know where he is in the world because I never know where he is in the world.
International man of mystery.
International man of mystery. Kalle Sauerland, how are you, mate?
Very well, Coog. How are you? How are you, Father? It's our first post-Milan birth interview. So I'm going to see whether you're wiser today, whether you're more knowledgeable today. But as always, I'm very excited to be talking to you. And congratulations again. I know I've sent you many congratulation notes, but it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Being a father.
Absolutely.
Definitely the longest, the best achievements I've had on planet Earth. Although it's not so much, but
I will echo those thoughts today. Yes, I will. I can finally echo those thoughts of joining this elusive gang that everyone always tells me about.
Absolutely.
Yes. First of all, thank you for your wishes. Second of all, commiserations being beaten by the best team in London last Sunday.
So I thought I'd get away with. I mean, this is a boxing discussion, not a football discussion. I think we did a similar. I did rub it in on the last time we did a piece around a similar time. Let's not forget, there's a home and away game, right? The home game we won 2-0, and you scrapped it through with a 2-1 against 10 men on Sunday. So let's call it 3-2 on aggregate. Still the Kings, still the undisputed Kings of North London. Was it 5 years since you finished above us in the league?
No, it ain't 5 years.
It's 5 years. It's 5 years, and it'll be 6 years this year, won't it?
4 years.
So anyways, we're in the cup final. We're in that big cup final. We're in the Europa League. Things are rocking. Jose's going to buy the whole of the Italian national team defence this summer. I've heard we got Mbappe coming along. You know, probably take Eubank-Brook off your hands as well. Sky's the limit.
Good luck with that. Good luck with both of those things. Kalle, boxing seems to be in full flow at the moment. Obviously, shows are back now, still without a crowd, but we're optimistic at some point in the summer or whenever that certain fans will obviously be allowed back in. But other than that, boxing has continued. So, yeah, we'll talk about kind of a few different things today. I really want to start with kind of the news over the last 48 hours that this Fury-AJ fight's been signed now from all the relevant parties, which some people have been a bit sceptical about because they're saying it's signed, but there's no date and venue. So technically, is there a fight, etc.? I spoke to Eddie Hearn yesterday. He's very optimistic that this does happen. He said the hardest part of the fight has now been done. So do you announce fights when there's no dates and venues?
Listen, you know, it's a special fight, so we should all be excited, whether you're involved in any shape or form, whether you're just a fan watching, which I'll be. I think that it's a big step. It's a big step what they've done is to sign this document. You mustn't forget that document isn't just the fighters agreeing and their advisors and people agreeing. That is also the networks linked to them agreeing. So that's obviously that's a massive, massive hurdle to overcome. I don't know what's in that document. Have they decided on ring size? Have they decided on ring walks? Things like that. We're not party to that information. What I've heard is that it is a very detailed document, leaving just the venue. That then is a massive, massive obstacle that's been overcome. But there's numbers flying about at the moment, which, you know, they're not even telephone numbers. They're more like, you know, I don't know, serial code numbers, I'd say, in terms of what's going to be earned in this fight. And that's, you know, that's not a given. That's based mainly on television pay-per-view sales, on media deals. But of course, it's based on a massive site deal. And it is one hell of a fight, though. Yeah. And, you know, I think everyone in the industry has heard the numbers that have been paid on certain events in the past. Everyone's looking at, obviously, towards Saudi Arabia, you know, and it's a very simple place to put on a fight. We were the first promoters down in Saudi Arabia. putting on a fight, and it's an excellent organisation down there. So from that point of view, that's all good. But at the end of the day, it's going to be all about where the dollars are. And you know, I have always an optimistic view on things. I think that the UK, in particular, will be up and flying in the summer. We're planning a big stadium show, some stage in the summer. Team Sauerland is. I think there's other good indicators of things coming back. I saw that they're pushing for a big deal, or big stadium deal around the Billy Joe Canelo fight. So, you know, you see in the States, I know in the States you can never work out what states are doing what in the United States, but it seems to be heading in a positive way. You know, the countries where you see the vaccine taking up, there's, you know, the numbers just seem to be dramatically dropping. I mean, dramatically, if you look at where it's coming from. But we're not here to talk about corona numbers. We're talking about what the possibilities are. And that fight fills stadia all over the world. It's just a question of, you know, do they get a deal done in 30 days? Let's look at it realistically, though. Everyone in that deal wants to do it, get it done. So the talk of it's got to be within 30 days. It's not like a countdown, you know. If it's 32 days, it's 32 days. If it's 22 days, it's 22 days. I don't believe that in 30 days, everyone's going to stand up and walk away from the table because it takes maybe a week longer. So, you know, I think it's great news for boxing. It's great news for the sport. I think the heavyweights are in such an exciting place. Not just those two. You know, you've got great fights coming up. You've got Hrgovic, Hunter in the making. You've got White, Povetkin too. You've got actually Povetkin White. Really, it should be billed as. I saw it was billed. It was White Povetkin. I thought it was always the victor of the last one really to go first. But then you've got Chisora Parker, apparently going to be announced shortly. Big fight as well. Great, interesting fight, that one. Wasn't too impressed with Parker against Farr. I was impressed by the whole event down there, I must say. I thought it looked very good. I thought the Zone did a fantastic job, and the local promoters down there did a great job as well on staging it. But the fight itself was a bit of a letdown. But Parker, I think he's gonna have his work cut out with Del Boy. If Del Boy's form continues to find a resurgence in his twilight years, you know, I think David Hayes is an excellent influence there. So you see the heavyweights all over. Joyce Usyk, another one. You know, so yeah, this is massive for the sport. But everything that comes down off that on the heavyweights is fantastic. You know, it's fantastic to see. And there's going to be some 4 or 5 great heavyweight fights made by the end of the summer, you know, and that's super for the whole sport.
Kalle, can you give us an update on the situation with Hunter and Hrgovic, when that could possibly take place?
I think it's you know, with the IBF, it's a pretty strict timeline, sort of May, June. Negotiations ongoing with Hunter. Seems to be some moving targets there, but ultimately, if there's no deal, it goes to a purse bid, so the fight's on, you know. Hrgovic is already in camp, firing on all cylinders. El Animal calling every day, asking for a date, you know. Keen to get business done, you know. It's a fantastic fight, very, very interesting fight.
Where's it likely to take place?
I think it's, you know, we're obviously obligated to the Zone, you know, so I think we'll be on a show in the States, sit down with our partners at Matchroom, discuss that, but it will be in the States, I would imagine, if we're in control. And listen, purse bid, the thing about purse bid, you don't know, it might be in Siberia, but I would guess, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd guess it's in there. It'll be in the States.
Okay. Now we understand that. I say we, like me. I've heard. I've read basically from your tweets, etc., that there's an announcement regarding Chris Eubank's next fight, which should be announced within the next 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think we'll be putting out later on this week. You know, we've said the plan for this year is 3 fights. We're looking at 1st of May. We're looking at a fight in the UK, and that's something that we hope to announce this week. You know, it's, you know, like we said, he's past the stage of tune-ups, but he has been out of the ring a long time, so it's going to be a fight to match at a level where he's definitely going to have the opportunity to shake some rust off. At the same time, you know, we've got an obligation to bring him back on the big stage, and you know, it's a tricky one to match, you know. So what we're thinking is something, without giving too much away, an all British fight. You know, fight maybe someone on the let's say not the world stage, but someone who wants to get to that world stage where Chris is. So it's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to, you know, it's going to be a way that he can make a statement also. You know, if all things go well, make a great statement to put on those big fights this year. That's the key. You know, it's going to be hopefully we're going to find the right opponent, and that will be announced end of this week.
So you mentioned May the 1st there. Obviously, Eddie Hearn has previously stated in interviews that he had a plan to put Chris Eubank on his May the 1st card, which we are assuming, without any confirmation from Eddie yesterday or whenever, that it will be Chisora Parker. So are we along the right lines there? Well,
it's certainly something that we're discussing. Be a big coincidence if it weren't on that card, wouldn't it? So,
no, I'm just going from what Eddie.
No, I mean,
that's all.
Once again, your relation to Sherlock Holmes comes to the forefront here, KUGAN. Absolutely, you could be right. I can't say more than that at the moment, but no, I mean, you know, it'd be fantastic, obviously, to be straight back on a pay-per-view card in the UK. Like I said, it's been over 2 years since that fantastic performance against James DeGale. So, you know, we want to come back with a bang, yeah, and that will be a great platform to do it on, if that's what we do.
If. All right, well, I won't.
Too many ifs there. Sorry, Coog, you know?
No,
early.
I would say I'll wait for the official announcement of Chris's next fight, where and when that will take place.
Which, of course, we will be doing with you as well.
Obviously. Any updates to give us about the World Boxing Super Series?
Yeah, not in terms of weights and weight classes, just that the situation, obviously, with the Corona pandemic time. I mean, you know, we're analysing the whole time when the best place to stage it is, and I think we're getting closer now to a start date. You know, without giving too much away, that's always a board decision, not my decision. But it's a fantastic team who's working the whole time at it, and you know, once again, it's not putting on an event, so it's a lot different to saying, oh, we'll go in now in the summer and we'll do that. This is about putting on a whole stage show over a season. So it's such a fantastic team. They're putting together something really, really special again. So yeah, as soon as we're ready, we'll make that announcement. But it's moving the whole time. Unfortunately, it's been moving a lot in zigzags because we're adapting to the different things that are happening. You know, it's if you would have looked at the picture at the end of December when we were looking at it, it was like, you know, the UK 65,000 cases a day. You know, Central Europe was down at about 5,000 or 6,000, and now the whole tides are turning. You know. You know, it's really a tricky one, and it's something that we really want to open up again. You know, but if we plan it on safety alone, of not in terms of even safety for the public, which of course is always the most important thing, but in terms of planning over a season, you'd have to probably go with a complete studio approach to it at the moment still, until we've seen events back in Europe which have continued for months. Don't forget, this will continue over a 10 to 12 month period of the season. So it's a very different approach to a normal event. So, it's a moving target, but it's something that's going to be very exciting when it comes.
Kalle, I just want to revisit Chris Eubank again, because I forgot to ask something. There was a lot of talk about a month ago about the possibility of Eubank fighting Kell-Brook. We know that's not a fight, obviously, realistic for that potential date of May the 1st, but has there been any actual talk with Team Brook regarding a fight with Kell and Brook?
No, there hasn't been, and for one reason, it's just that little bit too early, because it's a fight that would need a good crowd, and it's one that has created one hell of a reaction. Not all positive, by the way. A lot of people saying, you can't do that. It's wrong fight. It's this, that, and the other. Brook's different weight class. Listen, once again, I'm talking for someone. Maybe I'm talking out of place, but looking from the outside, Brook's been killing himself to make weight for the last few years. Yeah, so he had a very, very strong. Very strong opponent last time around. I feel that he would be better at a bigger weight, but that's something that they're called to make at the time. I think we'll definitely make an offer, and it will probably be pretty quick after the next fight. But at the same time, to make a feasible offer, something that would tempt them to take the fight, it has to have the economics on side, and the economics involve a stadium. It's a big fight. It's a big UK fight.
Sorry, Kalle, is that the plan then? If obviously Chris comes through his next fight, you're going to chuck in an offer to?
Yeah. I mean, will be one part we'll be looking at. Yeah, and it certainly will be. There will be an offer made. I can say that now. Yeah, we'll definitely be making an offer, because I think it's a fantastic fight. But there'll also be other roads we have to look down. Boxing, you can't always focus on the one thing. I mean, it's an idea that's come out of nothing. It's a weight class, the middleweights, which throws up so many different things. We had a discussion last week with Golden Boy about Mongolia. We've been in discussions with Murata. There's obviously a Triple G discussion to be had, So there's lots of angles out there, Let's see what happens in the Canelo-Billy Joe fight, Let's see what happens in that fight.
We can continue on with that. Obviously, Billy Joe's fight.
But you know what I'm saying? There's so many options. I love the Brook fight in the UK this summer. Absolutely, bang on. And we'll be in a position to make an offer for that fight, and we'll make that offer, and that's down to the people at Team Brook to look at that. I think they seem to have a very good team around them, who have been around the sport certainly for a long time at the very top of it. So they'll be able to assess what that. I'm sure that they might have other offers on the table as well. So I guess they're going to have to weigh it up. I can't make a decision for them, but we will be making an offer.
All right. Well, first things first. Obviously, we'll see what happens in his fight on potentially May the 1st.
Yeah, potentially May the 1st, and potentially on the potential Chisora Parker card. Potentially on Sky pay-per-view. And the zone. Potentially in the UK. Not a lot of potentials out there, Koo.
A lot of potentials. Allegeds and potentials.
Good thing is those potentials are only potentials for a couple of days still. So
there we go. Billy Joe, Canelo, yeah, that was announced a couple of weeks ago now, and I think Billy Joe's doing a fine job of winding up the media with his, I'm going to say, phantom injuries, but for all I know, they're true. I don't know, but Billy Joe's coming up with all sorts at the moment. So, and a lot of people are taking the bait.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some. Yeah, I saw some fun. I mean, the one with the apron. I must admit. Hold on, Coop. Do you hear that?
I can hear that.
Yeah, just give me a sec. Hold on. Oi! Quiet! Sorry. Yeah, no, I took the what was that? No, so I saw the Billy Joe one with the apron, and you know, he has at times a wicked sense of humour. Listen, we've all seen some things that I think he's very much regretted putting out in the past, and but he does sometimes nail them as well. And this one, that one was, as I must say, for tongue in cheek, it was 10 out of 10. And it is going to be one hell of a build up, you know. And if there's anything that I thought that the Yildirim fight, okay, forget the fight itself, get the opponent, but the show was fantastic. I mean, you know, the whole stage show and everything, you know, I thought it reminded me a little bit of when the Klitschko's fought always. You knew the level of opponent because the more fireworks that went on before the fight, you knew the shittier the opponent would be. And unfortunately, the opponent was, Eubank found him out a few years ago, and he was in that position for some reason or another. But when the fireworks were going off and you had this Latin superstar, who, by the way, I must admit, I saw this guy singing in Mexican, and I'm thinking, who the hell is he? Right? And this shows how I realise I'm getting old. There's a few other things that make me realise I'm getting old. Me sitting there and I'm thinking, well, I've got to put on my Shazam, right, which I still know how to use. And I'm typing and I think, who is this guy? Is it like Ricky Martin who's made a comeback, or is his son? And I'm looking at it, he's got like 99 million followers around the world. Oh, okay. Another level, yeah. So no, it was a fantastic show in terms of an event, you know, and it was nice to see fans in the stadium, you know. It was good, yeah, it was good. But Billy Joe will be a completely different kettle of fish, and I think you'll get you obviously get a real big build up, but I think it'll be a proper fight as well. I think it'll be a proper fight. You know, let's not forget, Canelo has been, you know, a lot of Golovkin fans now will say, oh, he got beaten against Golovkin as well, but he's taken one proper beating in his career, and that beating was against a technician. And now I'm not saying that Billy Joe has ever done things that Mayweather has done. He hasn't done that yet in his career. Mayweather is arguably the greatest technician who's ever graced a ring, but he took the mickey out of him that night. Now people say, oh, well, hold on, Canelo's learned and everything. Yeah, but the blueprint, the plan to beat him is there. So from that point of view, taken, but Billy Joe knows what to do. And once again, I'm sure Canelo sharpened up the tools and everything else, but he took a proper beating that night.
That fight was 9 years ago as well.
Yep. And then there'll be arguments I could make either way. 9 years fresher, 9 years more experience later. You know, there's different ways of looking at it. I remember at the time, I tipped Canelo. I tipped on one of the Mexican channels interviewed me, and they said, I said, sorry, but I think your boy's going to do it. I thought Canelo would do it that night. Yeah, I remember it well. And he couldn't get near him. So the question is, does Billy Joe just go for that tactic? You know, is he gonna box and move and not give him a target? You know, I don't see him coming to go toe to toe with him. You know, I don't see that at all. You know, so I mean, what's changed a lot is Canelo has naturalized at the weight. You know, he looks he looks very comfortable at that weight now. You know, very, very comfortable. And I think that they've stopped looking at, you know, taking him up again and up again and up again. I think, you know, we had Myris Bridis, the Cruiserweight World Boxing Super Series winner, calling him out, you know, baiting him because, of course, he's got these thing about going through the weights. But I think they've stopped that and they've realised he's very natural at that weight. And he looked fantastic against Yildirim. He's looked fantastic in his last couple of fights. But Billy Joe, I do believe, will take him into much trickier waters. What happens off that, I don't know. I think that, you know, Callum, who I've worked with and promoted, fantastic fighter. I just felt he sort of reached that pinnacle in the World Boxing Super Series that night in Saudi when he won the final. I just think that since then, and sometimes it's difficult to motivate yourself back up. I'm not saying that the Canelo fight was necessarily not less important, but you know, he's getting paid a hell of a lot of money. You know, that's where I like that thing in the World Boxing Super Series where you got the winners bonus. Yeah, there's no winners bonus against Canelo. Yeah, of course, your next fight's going to be more. You can calculate it, but it's different. You know, it's a different mindset. And I just feel that, you know, I think that he didn't face the best Callum Smith. And I think that, you know, with Billy Joe, it really depends which one shows up. But I'm not expecting the one that showed up to a few fights where he's really sort of failed to fire or misfired. I think we'll see a Billy Joe in there that is going to give him a real run for his money as the underdog.
Well, that fight is on May the 8th. Should have the venue confirmation tomorrow, I think Eddie said. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that as well. I've got one more for you before I let you go. Have you changed your opinion since we last spoke about this person, about Jake Paul? Have you changed your opinion about him?
You always throw the Jake ball, put the ball.
Why?
You do this to me every time.
No,
you throw it in like a last-minute curveball. Like, here we are having a nice boxing chat about great fighters like Eubank, Canelo, who else we mentioned? Hrgovic, you know, Billy Joe. And here you come with Jake Paul, right? So, my opinion has not changed, right? And it won't change. And the only thing, I mean, who's he fighting next? You were winding me up about the Mayweather thing. I told you it was a load of rubbish. That ain't going to happen, right?
No, that was Logan Paul, his brother.
Yeah, right. For me, they're all one.
An exhibition fight.
They're all one. Exhibition fight. What is an exhibition fight? I'd like to see an exhibition fight. How can a fight, by the nature of a fight, be an exhibition? How can it be an exhibition? If you fight someone, you fight someone, no? You know, they're going to take their heads off. So that's what a fight is. An exhibition, what is it like? You know, I'll just jab you and I won't do it hard. You know, every time I've tried that when I was younger, it always ended up in a real fight. So I don't know how that works. You know, all play fights end up into real fight. I rarely managed to play fight someone when I was a kid who was. Listen, my opinion is still. Who's he fighting, KUGAN?
He's fighting a former UFC fighter called Ben Askren.
Okay, so right, that is different. So I'm not changing my opinion on the guy. I think the guy is an absolute prat. Yeah, but I'm going to change my opinion on the fight because, of course, Ben, whoever is. I'm not into UFC, so I couldn't tell you who Ben Askren. So Ben Askren, I don't know what he brings, right? But I can tell you it's more evenly matched than him fighting Floyd Mayweather. And don't start, the brothers, he was the brother. What do you know about the brother? What do you know about, tell me, let's have it, let me turn this round, let me ask you a question, mate.
Go on.
So go on, what's the strengths in the ring of Logan Paul compared to Jake Paul?
I have no idea.
No, well, exactly. Let me go. More simple. More simple fact. What weight is Logan Paul and what weight is Jake Paul?
One's an heavyweight and one's a cruiserweight. No, I don't know.
You don't know exactly, because let's face it, it's a great gimmick. And by the way, I've got to say I thoroughly enjoyed the show on Triller with the whole Snoop Doggy Dogg commentator. I think it was fantastic, and I think the idea is genius. Yeah, and me getting wound up is the thing you want to see, because that's people. If I had no opinion, yeah, I wouldn't watch it. I probably will end up watching this fight of Jake Paul because it winds me up so much. By the way, back in the day, in let's say real boxing, you watch Chris Eubank Sr. because he wound a lot of people up. You watched Prince Nassim because he wound a lot of people up. It's not about the mediocre. It's about splitting opinion. It's about absolutely doing that. And no, my opinion has not changed on either of the Pauls. Yeah, my offer still stands, bare knuckle. Right, but I saw John Fury calling him out, so I better get in line. I won't be arguing with him. But I'll make this suggestion to John Fury. Let me have him first, and whatever's left over, you can finish off. Because if John Fury goes in first, there won't be nothing left for me. So
I don't think John Fury was saying. I think he was talking about his boy Tommy fighting him.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, anything with a Fury behind it, we'll walk through them like they will air. Right? At least with me, it's a bit of a challenge, you know.
In answer to your question, I'm pretty certain that they're cruiserweights. Yeah,
I'm a cruiserweight. I come in exactly this morning at 9, just over the limit at the moment. Just over the limit. But I'll make cruiser, no problem. Still in a catch weight, not an issue. But again, I think at least they're fighting something now which is semi-competitive. I'm not, KUGAN, for the record, I'm not against people, whether they're YouTubers or whatever, I don't know, whatever, computer freaks, whatever, these guys, yeah, whatever they do, I'm very happy if they get away from the computer and actually put on a pair of gloves and go to the gym. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be boxing. I'm just saying they should fucking shut their mouths when they shouldn't even speak the word Floyd Mayweather. This is blasphemy. It's like walking into a church and swearing. Doesn't happen, shouldn't happen, right? It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. But it's also ridiculous. But it's winding me up. And you know he's doing it. He's doing it with Conor McGregor as well. I saw some clip my son showed me. One of the two. Once again, they're both Paul for me. And to go out even and call out Conor McGregor. Now, Conor McGregor isn't a boxer as such. We know that. He's a striker in the UFC. He's a good striker, but he's not a boxer. Yeah, I mean, once again, that was also a very farcical match between the two of them, with him and Mayweather. And I just think that if they're going to do it, why don't they fight like for like KSI against the Paul, right? That was at least one-on-one, two guys who were novices. You know, forget the fact that they're on YouTube and whatever, right? They fought each other, and it was, you know, I wouldn't say it was very entertaining, but it was, at least it was somewhere, you know, it was glamorized white collar, wasn't it? You know, so that's all fine, but when they start taking names in, and I find a bit of an insult on the intelligence. That's all.
That's fair enough. Just always like to get your opinion on.
And I'm just very happy you asked, so I can find out how knowledgeable you are on YouTube boxing.
Not great. Not surprisingly, there's not really a stacked history of it. The history dates back to 2019. So, but in answer to your questions, I'm pretty certain they're cruiserweights. I think they're both cruiserweights. But anyway.
Yeah. So that fits the bill.
Okay. All right, Kalle, listen, we will catch up again when we have more news on Eubank's opponent.
Yeah. And
whatever show this is.
I can tell you something else. There's something very big, very, very big drop in the next couple of weeks.
What?
Massive.
Yeah, what is it to do with?
Can't say more. I can't say more.
Is it a fight announcement?
No, can't say more. Massive.
If it's not a fight announcement, is it a signing?
Can't say more. Watch this space. We'll be back here on IFL. Watch this space. It's huge. It's ginormous. It's groundbreaking. It's taking things to another level. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking.
I am thinking. Kalle Sauerland, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. We'll definitely catch up with you again very soon. And then, we look forward to kind of all these things we're talking about regarding guys you're involved with being confirmed very shortly.
Absolutely, Kug. Looking forward to it, mate. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Kalle Sauerland.